Delsy. How you doing?
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going.
Where are you?
I'm at Roosevelt Island in Manhattan Borough, New York City.
Yeah? What's the date today?
I have no idea.
January, let's say 15th?
I think it's January 15th, that's about right.
What year?
2016, that I do know.
Okay. And you've lived in New York City for how long now?
We've been in New York City now for about 5 months.
Cool. And what are your thoughts? I mean, it's been a while. You feel acclimated at all, or does it still feel like kind of overwhelming? Or
the first couple of weeks here felt incredibly overstimulating. It was like loud and lots of people and traffic, and I would get constant headaches, and I didn't know how to use the train or how to go anywhere, and people seemed so different. It was hard the first couple of weeks, but after a while it really becomes home. I mean, to me it feels like home now, and I feel like I've learned so much and I've changed so much, and just the entire way that you see the world changes when you're here, because there's so many international people, and you can really see the way a city functions here. You can see what the happenings, how things get from one place to another, and it certainly doesn't feel overstimulating. It feels stimulating, but in a positive way. So I'm actually starting to really love it here.
that's great. What do you do with most of your time? Where do you find yourself most?
Well, when I first moved here, I was doing a lot of volunteering and things like that, and I was doing an internship in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, with this guy named Will Coxon at Will Coxon Studios, doing pottery and ceramics. It was really amazing. It was like within the first month I knew how to make cups and bowls and things that I'd never made before. And then I got a job as the assistant director of a community center in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And so that's what I'm doing. I spend most of my time there trying to help with curriculum and things like that. It's been really fascinating.
Yeah? And where do you live? What neighborhood?
I live in Morningside Heights, which is it's its own kind of place. It's like a border between like Upper West Side and Upper West, like West Harlem. But it's its own entity, Morningside Heights. It's really nice. It's right next to Columbia University.
And you take the subway? You figured all that out?
Take the subway. I take too many subways.
Which trains do you take?
I take the 1 to the L, and then the L to the 1 back home. But I usually take the express. So really, I'm taking the 1 to the 2 to the L, and then the L to the 2 to the 1, and then walking both ways. So it's a lot. It's quite a commute. It takes me like an hour and a half.
Oh. And what are some of your favorite places or favorite things, like at this moment in time?
I like the aerial tramway.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's my favorite.
That's how we got here.
I like the bridges a lot. The George Washington Bridge is amazing to walk. Just incredible. Honestly, some of my favorite things to do in New York are just pretty mundane. Like, I really like the parks a lot. Riverside Park is my favorite. Morningside Park I love. Obviously Central Park. But Riverside Park is really special. And I just like all these old buildings. I like the vintage looking buildings better than the new buildings.
Oh, okay, like these skyscrapers over here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a mixture here. I mean, it's a good
I like
mix.
These really old looking buildings, and just everywhere you go in New York, there's visual interest everywhere, especially during the fall and the winter too. It's really magical. I mean, it's definitely 100% different. Like, if you think, oh, it's not going to be that different, it's still the United States. I live in a big city in Los Angeles, so moving to a big city in New York is not going to be that different. Wrong. New York is incredibly different from Los Angeles. They're polar opposites, but they're equally wonderful. I mean,
What have been some of the big differences that popped out at you right away?
Between New York and LA?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a whole essay. But in New York, you really get to be a part of the world because you're in such close proximity to everybody, and when you're in a rush to go to work, everyone else is in a rush to go to work, and when you're coming home, everyone's coming home. Whenever you want to go get food, everyone around you is trying to get food. It's like you are part of the human experience. And in LA, there's this feeling of separation, like you're kind of an onlooker to other people's experiences depending on who they are. You're only a part of certain groups. It's really, it's interesting. But in LA, it's funny to say that because when I was in LA, I always thought there weren't enough trees in LA. But now I feel like LA is just like natural wildlife everywhere. It just feels like mountains and grass everywhere and trees and a lot of greenery. And as you can see here, where are all the trees? Which is probably why I like parks so much. Those are some trees, but it's winter, so these really look great. So that, but the seasons, that's a whole different thing. I mean, I just want to point out that I'm not making a better than or less than, because each one of these places has its value in a different way. But the seasons changing, LA has seasons, but definitely not like this. This is fascinating. The way it goes from one season to another, it really alters the way that you think. It alters the things that you wear, the things that you enjoy doing, the people that you're choosing to spend time with. You're fully affected by the changing seasons, which I'd never experienced before. So it's nice. But also, but it's also nice when you go to LA and everything has a golden tone to it, and it's warm, and I mean, it's such a blessing to be able to have spent so much time, to have been able to spend so much time in both places.
What are some of your favorite things right now, just as a record of, like what are your favorite movies as we speak, and your
As
favorite...
a record of me at the age of 28?
Yeah.
Okay. I recently saw this movie called The Danish Girl, which was a movie about a transgendered person, and that's my favorite movie right now that I saw. My favorite musical artist right now, I'm really into Jose Gonzalez, who does like classic guitar style kind of folk music. Yeah, that's what I'm interested in right now.
See what you're wearing.
That's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a green pea coat. It's cold. This is what I look like. Rocking the short hair.
Yay. Anything else you want to say?
I think that being in your late 20s is a really fascinating time, because the more you explore, the more you want to explore. It just feels like this feeling of freedom, because you're finally old enough to really grasp the magnitude of what you're seeing, to really put the pieces together. So it's not the same. You travel when you're younger. It's just not the same. I feel like now is the time. I'm really enjoying being here. I'm so glad we came.
What do you want to say to your future self?
My future self?
Who's going to watch this? Even if future self is like a month from now, or several years from now, or however long this record survives.
You made the decisions that you made right now because they seemed like the right choices with the information that you had now. So if it doesn't work out in the future,
it seemed like
not
the right thing.
my fault.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like the right thing at the time, and everything leads to another experience, so it's good.
All right. I love you.